One of the most tricky points to decide when you are creating a design is what font to use. Using the wrong font can lead to a bad design. So if you want to stop wasting hours of your time trying to find what fonts you should use and where to find them, in this video I'm going to show you the 5 best free fonts to choose for your designs to simplify your life, with also additional key points that I want you to consider I'm saving for the end of the video. So hello creatives, if this is your first time here, my name is Lauren, and in this channel I help graphic designers become better at what they do through business and creative tips for you. So now before we get into this, I really want to clear a common misconception amongst creatives in regards to the terminology we use when we're talking about fonts. So while a typeface describes a particular family of fonts, such as Helvetica, a font refers to the variations of this typeface, such as bold, Helvetica regular, Helvetica light, etc. So you would say I'm using the typeface Helvetica, and you would say I'm using the font Helvetica regular. So you see the difference? A lot of creatives use the word font instead of typeface, but it's good to just really understand the difference as a designer. The first typeface recommendation is a serif typeface called Garamond. This typeface was created in the 1500s, and it's simple, legible, well-balanced, and has nice letter spacing designed into the font. In Adobe fonts, there's one called Adobe Garamond, which is a version of Garamond, and that's the one I've been using for many years. It's great for large amounts of body type, such as in magazines and books. It's even used in Harry Potter title. It's used in the logos American Eagle and Abercrombie & Fitch to give those brands a classic feel to them. And it was even used for the original Think Different campaign by Apple in the 1990s. The second recommendation is a sans serif typeface called Montserrat. I use this one for my own design business. You can see it in my logo and for my website, and has 36 fonts to choose from. It's well balanced and clean and simple. You can never go wrong with this one for both print and web. The third recommendation is a sans serif typeface called Bebas New Pro. It has 40 fonts inside and works really well for use in ads and display type. I wouldn't use this one as body copy, as its narrow design makes it not as easy to read as other typefaces, but it can complement very nicely a serif font such as Garamond, and it works for both web and print. Netflix actually uses this one for their logo. The fourth recommendation is a sans serif typeface called Futura PT. This is Adobe Fonts version of Futura, and it has slight variations from the original, but it's still a solid typeface to use. The original Futura typeface was famously used in the logo of many well-known brands like Nike, Best Buy, PayPal, FedEx, and it's modern, clean, and has a really nice all caps to it, and many variations that can be used to help contrast each other. The fifth recommendation is a sans serif typeface called Proxima Nova. It has 48 fonts and has a nice character to it that allows a lot of diverse uses. I've used this font for tech brands as well as beauty brands, so it has a really nice range. Do you use any of these typefaces in your design projects, and what is your go-to typeface to use? When all else fails, you can always rely on these 5 free fonts to help you create a great design. And there's a ton of other typefaces that I also love that are both paid and free that I'll save for another video. Now you may have noticed I have one only serif typeface on my list and 4 sans serifs. So serif is easier to read in books and large bodies of type. However, for digital designs like websites, you're going to see very much sans serif fonts much more often used. And that's because the serifs tend to be more pixelated in digital form, and they lose the clarity that a book has. So 70% of web projects are using sans serif. A lot of modern brands use it as well, but that doesn't mean you can't use serif. Those are just guidelines and rules to think with when you're designing. And finally, I want you to understand 5 key points that should be taken into consideration before deciding on a typeface to use. The first is it should have a large amount of fonts to choose from within the typeface, such as regular, light, bold, italic. It's gonna help you when you want to add contrast and variation, but still keep the design within the same typeface. Number 2 is it should have even kerning, so you don't have to keep going in and manually adjusting the kerning all the time in your designs, which is super annoying. Number 3 is it should have consistency between letters with great balance. Number 4 is it should be easy to read. Number 5, it should convey the correct mood for your design, adding to the communication, not detracting from it. So there you go. And if this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're not already for future tips on freelancing and design. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.